Hello and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be covering Google's UCP, the Universal Commerce Protocol. I'm going to be talking about how this is yet another earth-shattering development in SEO. It honestly feels like we're getting one of these every other week at the moment, but it really is representing a massive change in SEO now, but also what SEO is going to be looking ahead in the coming year, the coming couple of years. I'm going to be covering what UCP is, why does it matter so much at the moment, what impact is it likely to have looking ahead, trying to kind of get an idea of where we're going to go with it, what can we do, so what can we as SEOs do to brace for the massive change that's going to come with this update, how you can set the foundations with your customers, and then finally I'm just going to talk about AI SEO and how it's more important than ever before that you need to get in the conversation. If you want the conversions, you've got to be in the conversation. Okay, with that said, let's just kick off with what the Google UCP is. So, as I mentioned, it's the Universal Commerce Protocol. If you haven't seen about it already, there's plenty of articles up. Obviously, there's Google's own slightly fluffier kind of launch post here, which has got a great example of what it is. It's building in directly into AI responses the ability to pick out a product and then purchase it. So we're going from AI being a recommendation engine where it was able to say, in this example, this particular suitcase, I think that will suit you. You would click on it, go off onto the external website that sells it, then purchase it. So we as SEOs would still be registering as that as traffic onto our site. That is going with Google UCP. Now you're going to be able to buy it directly in conversation with AI. So in this example, they're talking with Gemini. It's also coming in the AI mode, coming potentially via AI overviews, anything like that. It's obviously massive as AI traffic goes up, both naturally and also because they are going to be pile driving people along towards this. Obviously, they're going to want to. The problem that Google has always faced is they haven't actually wanted to deliver traffic. Delivering traffic has just been a corollary of what they really want to do, what the navigation that they want to do. Now, they don't need to. They can handle it all within their ecosystem. Websites are just going to be feeds to deliver up information to Google, to the AI mode, to then have them facilitate everything. It's honestly massive. As I said, there's a great post here just kind of breaking down slightly fluffier kind of examples of what it will entail. We've got the under the hood here as well. This is a really good one for anyone that's more technical minded, or if you want to kind of give your dev team the heads up. They've got, it's great, it goes through how it's working and then worked examples, essentially like a school textbook. You've got the worked examples all the way down through here, so you can talk about where it's going to be going, what kind of changes you're going to need to implement to your site, to your development team for commerce in the age of this UCP. What really is notable is the universal aspect of it. This isn't, whilst obviously I focused and many will focus on the Google element of this, it is universal. You are going to see this be able to be adopted as the standard moving forward for all retailers, basically. There's a couple of good SEO focused posts here. Obviously, a lot of buzz around it on LinkedIn. It will not be hard to find posts about it, but I will include links to both this one, which Chris Long just gives a good little breakdown of what UCP is in pretty simple terms, and then I quite like this one from Masoodin because he's just talking about the future is agentic, essentially, and that's pretty much where SEO is going to be moving to. We don't want to give it another acronym, but sort of agentic SEO to go with AI SEO. Why does it matter quite so much? The weird thing is that actually this has already been launched in ChatGPT. It's not that long ago, but back in September of 2025, ChatGPT launched this, and there wasn't nearly the buzz that we've now seen happening with this Google launch. And the simple answer is, it's because it's Google. It's because how big they are. Microsoft actually also launched a very similar Copilot checkout in the brand agents. That sort of snuck out at the start of this year. And again, there was articles upon Search Engine Land, we've seen about it, but it just didn't really seem to kind of have the breakthrough that this big old announcement from from Google for the UCP has. And again, that's simply just the battering ram size that is Google. Once they step into the arena, we're seeing it at the moment with, I've referenced it in previous videos, the amount of traffic that Gemini is receiving and generating to websites. It's still behind ChatGPT for now, but it's catching up. And with Google's ability to filter so much of the internet through their AI interfaces, it's just one of those when once the behemoth, it might take them a little while to get going compared to slightly scrappier ChatGPT, OpenAI. But once they get rumbling, once they get going, you'll see that was where the real difference maker will be. And also, it's not directly related to this, but I thought it was a pretty good example of where my thinking is with this, of the size that matters. Apple has picked Google Gemini to power Siri now. It's not quite so directly as a few people seem to have thought that you will just directly, instead of Siri, you'll be like, hey Gemini. That's not what they're doing here. But it'll be the foundations, it will be the backing power that then allows Siri. There'll be the architecture, the brains behind it. And again, that's just showing the sheer amount of power that Google is going to have in this space. So what impact will it have? Despite actually kind of talking in quite apocalyptic terms here, I personally think it will be relatively slow. Not completely slow, but not glacially, but it will be quite slow. The reason for that is people have to adopt it. It's a new standard and it takes a while to adopt it. We're not quite e-commerce in this way anyway, but I couldn't just turn to my devs and say, right, have this up by Monday. That's not how this is going to work. It's going to take a while. User behaviors are going to have to shift. It's only rolling out in America for now through select retailers. Again, you can have a look directly in here. They are pretty big retailers though, as it goes. It's not just kind of oh yeah, we've launched it with one customer here. These are big names that are coming in. So that's why you're going to see it go quite quickly, and because they're going to want to push it. This is one where they're probably going to actively take quite a big stance in pushing people towards it. But I do think that, especially for now, it can be quite easy when you're in a tech space to think that everyone thinks like you do. Everyone is as tech forward as you are. But realistically, I still know plenty of people have a lot of distrust of AI. They're not doing anything with AI in their daily lives even. And the idea that they're just going to immediately switch to, oh, well, I'm fine with a robot basically picking out what product's best for me. It's very unlikely. It's coming at a time where, to kind of put my own thoughts onto it, it's coming at a time where a lot of products are actually getting a little bit worse in kind of e-commerce areas. The sort of, should we say, the teamification of products. It's kind of decreasing standards. I've actually been doing a lot more research into the things that I buy currently, just because I think quality is dipping down, and that might sound like a bit of a weird aside here, but I think that kind of speaks to where customers are at, and they might have that little bit kind of, are you just going to want to buy the first one that pops up? Some amount of people are going to do it, and I think we're going to see some amazing graphs that you're going to see it shoot through the roof. But that's going to be because the starting point was 0. So that 0 to that first 100 customers is going to look massive. Those first adoption rates. What will be the stumbling block is it will shoot up and then, in my opinion, level off for a little while, like with AI adoption. We saw it where every month they were announcing new user numbers, and it looked like they'd have every single person on the earth within 7 months. But these patterns, they don't really work like that. So it's going to have to something that you bear in mind, but I just don't think that it's going to immediately take over. But it's definitely going to represent the future of SEO as it stands. What can we do? We can implement it. That is the simple matter of it. If you're working in e-commerce, you're going to have to start implementing it. If you don't implement it for yourself, for your clients, you're going to fall behind. At the moment, it is just commerce, but I wouldn't be surprised to sort of see more developments on this into potentially almost sort of service-led down the line. But for now, it is just products, but if you're not implementing it, then obviously Google is just going to favor, in these discussions, it's just going to favor the company, the product that can be bought through their interface. So as disappointing as that might be, we're just going to need to adapt to it. On that, set foundations with your customers. That's probably actually the biggest thing that we can do. Obviously, implementing the protocol, that'll be important, but also setting the understanding of customers. For the longest time, the difficulty with SEO is getting the buy-in from the customers and learning how to communicate what SEO is, why they need to care about it. And quite often, we've then talked about it in terms of clicks, in terms of traffic. We've long, at fatjoe, we've long pushed against that, actually. You'll see quite often, whenever we're doing a video about what should KPIs be, whenever we're doing a post about it, that kind of thing, ultimately, the KPI is your ROI and the amount of conversions you're making. That is what you should always focus on, your revenue, your conversions. But I understand why people don't always manage to do that. They might not always manage to communicate directly in those terms when they're struggling to get buy-in. But now, more than ever, you're going to need the conversation to go there. Traffic is going to die. Traffic is just going to die off. Google's never wanted to send it. And whilst there will still be some people who they like the visuals of interacting with the website, they like being able to click around, read all the FAQs on your site, hop onto the chatbot, there will still be some people doing that, but just through the sheer forces, the market forces of pushing people onto this AI train, most will start moving towards this kind of thing. And you need to be able to set those foundations with your customers. You need to be able to say that whilst visually your traffic might be declining, as long as your conversions are holding steady, that's a great thing. But also being able to attribute to that is because of our SEO efforts. Because obviously the problem is, if the traffic all declines and the conversions remain the same, they might come to the conclusion that, well, SEO was doing nothing for us. If we can drop all this amazing amount of traffic, still have these conversions, clearly SEO wasn't doing anything. But what you need to be able to now communicate is that SEO is the act of getting into these conversations, whereas before it was into the SERPs, now it's going to have to be into these conversations. If not now, if not this month, if not in 6 months' time, in a year's time, overall, as the whole industry, looking ahead, we've got to be able to take this on a longer term than just next week. Looking at the patterns and the trends ahead, we're going to need to be able to move the conversations to, we are optimizing for appearing in these conversations. You've got to think about it like when someone is in these conversations that you're seeing in these example ones, your product coming up, especially, it's just a one-off here, but you know, they're very heavily promoting one particular product here. You need to be the product that is getting called out here. That's where SEO is going to, and that's where you need to be able to tell your customers, this is what we're securing for you. So AI SEO, get in the conversation. We've got it here with our brand mention service. We're trying to shape the narrative around a brand, around a product, getting it into when, in this example query, when they are sat there going, I need the perfect suitcase for this particular use case, going through, whether it be our brand mention service, your own AI SEO work, being able to nail down the USP of your product. So your product being the most hardy and resilient suitcase, being the best lightweight suitcase, whatever it may be, being able to build it out, building those sources that then AI collates and then turns into that product recommendation. If you're not AI visible, if you're not putting in the back end work to make sure that all of your products can be found fine, so both with this UCP and also just making your site robots friendly, but also doing that off-site work, getting those external links, those external brand mentions, those external reviews. If you're not putting in the work to be doing that for your products and, like I say, increasingly probably also for your services, for your informationals, anything like that, if you're not putting in the work to build up your particular profile for your ideal customer, they will simply recommend someone else. They'll recommend someone else. Searchers won't be going 10 links deep anymore. They won't even be going 5 links deep. They won't be going any links deep. They'll be going through, maybe they get 3 recommendations chucked up to them in ChatGPT. We're already seeing that actually ChatGPT over the course of last year, it went from, I believe it was recommending on average around 8 to 9 kind of products or sources. They actually tightened that up. And by the end of the year, I believe the average had declined to around kind of 6. And if we see that continuing, if we see that they are really picking out the brand behemoths, if they're always just favouring, if you're launching, say, a niche kind of shoe, like you're going to be the best trail runners out there, and you really think that you've got the absolute best product, but Nike offers a trail runner, yours could be better, but if you're not getting that buzz out there, Google is just going to see the amount and just go, well, the Nike one's fine. And that's already been happening. But before, users would be able to, they'd be able to search through, they'd be able to go through the SERPs, have a little look, find your kind of more niche offering. If they're just in AI, and AI is just going, right, here's the trail runner shoe for you, it's one option and there it is, you're going to lose out. Your customers are going to lose out. It sounds a bit apocalyptic. It's not the death of SEO. It's the change of SEO. It's SEO going into the chrysalis and re-emerging in a new form. We just need to be able to communicate that what we're still doing is SEO. Put a different acronym on it if you want. Agentic SEO, AI SEO, AEO, anything like that. But ultimately, I think that out of everything that we've sort of faced in the past years with the launch of AI, out of everything, this new agentic change, the UCP, the Universal Commerce Protocol, represents the biggest change. But what do you think? Just let us know in the comments below how you're going to be building up for UCP, what you're doing about agentic search. Do you, like me, think that agentic search is going to, whether in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, is agentic going to completely take over? Or do you think it's going to be ChatGPT? OpenAI, they launched the Atlas browser and the take-up was minimal. Do you think that people are going to still want to kind of operate like they have been before? Or do you think with the big boys of Google coming in, is that what's needed to really tip the scale? Like I say, let us know. It's predicting the future. We've got to see where it's going to go. But I'm fascinated by it, and I really do think that they came for our informational traffic, and that was fine. But now they're coming for the commerce. Cheers.